Hello everyone, I'm Joel Haas, joined by Lyle Alenstein here inside of the beautiful Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where Penn State just fell 27-24 to Notre Dame in the semifinal round of the college football playoffs. The Nittany Lions season ends at 13-3, a historic season in a lot of ways. It was the most games ever played in a season, the most wins ever in a season for Penn State. But obviously they fall short of the ultimate goal, which was winning today to be able to compete for a national championship. Lyle, what did you think of Penn State's performance today?
Well, it started off really well. They got the lead.
10-0 lead, yeah.
10-0 lead. Riley Leonard got banged up. So all of a sudden, things are looking in Penn State's favor.
But here comes Steve Angeli.
Steve Angeli leads the Fighting Irish.
6 for 7 or whatever it was.
40, 50, I think it was 50 yards. Yeah. Down the field, sets up a field goal. It's Jeter, and 10-3 at the half.
Momentum really started to turn. Once Angeli came into the game, the momentum really started to swing. As ironic as it is to say, the momentum really swung.
Yeah, because they scored end of the half. It was 10-3, headed in the locker room tunnels. And then they ripped off 14 unanswered. So it ended up being 17 unanswered. Took the 17-10 lead in the third quarter. Obviously, Penn State came right back. Nick Singleton had every single touchdown?
Yeah.
Every single touchdown. He had all 3 touchdowns today. Run game was working, what's new. Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, Tyler Warren, run game. They played really well. Injuries, you saw Tyler Warren go down at one point, returned. Abdul Carter, you had the build up all week, all this Star Wars, whatever you want to call it. And he essentially played with one arm, I think. And he disruptive, and he wasn't even at full force. Obviously, there was that fumble that you could tell he was that was me trying to imitate him, but that didn't really capture the full picture. But normally he pounces on that ball, but he doesn't. But I think he was disruptive. He had a lot of tackles. He had a sack. He had a pass breakup. And this defense, honestly, he kept it. We can talk about Nick Singleton's all you want, but denied Dennis Sutton, dropped back from defensive end to coverage, had that interception. Zakee Wheatley had that interception, third turnover of the playoffs for him. Really, and this has ended up, being Penn State, putting Penn State in the game because I'm sure we'll talk about it in a second, but Drew Allar, it was not his day tonight.
Yeah, we can talk about it right now. Drew Allar was terrible. You mentioned the 2 interceptions, Zakee Wheatley and denied Dennis Sutton. And those defenders had more catches than Penn State's wide receivers did. Funny enough, that's the storyline we've been talking about since even dating back to last season, going into the offseason. That's all anyone wanted to talk about was what was Penn State going to do at wide receiver. Today, the answer was absolutely nothing. No catches, no yards for Penn State's wide receivers. Barely any targets. I think there were a few to Harrison Wallace, the one to Amari Evans that resulted in an interception at the end of the game, which was, maybe one of the worst throws we've ever seen Drew Allar make. He said post-game that he just wanted to throw that one into the ground. Ended up getting picked off by the Notre Dame cornerback, blanking on his name, but regardless, Allar had a rough day today, around 50% completions. Really no splash plays apart from maybe 1 or 2 to Tyler Warren, which, is kind of a given. Every game, Warren, I thought, had a good game. Like Lyle mentioned, he went out for a few plays after he hit the ground hard.
Hit 100 receptions.
Yeah, hit 100 receptions on the season. Penn State program record holder. He extends that mark. But obviously Tyler Warren can't do everything by himself. Nick Singleton, Katron Allen pitched in, did their best. They played well in the first half of this game. I think they kind of tailed off a little bit in this. Singleton, I guess, had a great third quarter as well, but I think the yards per carry dipped for both of them as the game kind of went on. I think Notre Dame made some good adjustments and was able to kind of shut down Penn State as things went on. Penn State had multiple chances to win this game. They had a potential for a Drew Allar legacy drive with 2 minutes left, and they ended up punting. Yeah, Drew Allar ruined his legacy drive. He had a chance, 2 minutes left. It looked like it was setting up perfectly for Penn State in a tie game. Penn State does nothing on the drive. It actually starts with a false start, so they're already in behind the chains in 1st and 15. And when you're as heavily reliant on the run as Penn State was today, that's obviously a horrible start. They weren't able to convert, so they end up punting on 4th and 3, I think it was, which you could argue whether or not Penn State should have gone for that. I think it was fine. I think they made the right decision there. There were a few other 4th downs earlier in the game that Penn State did go for it. I think they converted their first 2 4th downs in the first half of the game, which worked out, obviously. So I do think you have to give James Franklin, Koto Nicky, Penn State credit for that because we talk a lot about like the 4th and 5 against Ohio State, however many years ago. That play still gets brought up as, a bad James Franklin play call, but, you have to give him credit because I think today he made the right calls. It was just on the offense not going out and executing today. But Penn State gives it to Notre Dame. Defense steps up in a big way, forces a punt. Penn State gets the ball back with whatever it was.
I think that was Drew's worst throw of his career.
It might have been.
Like,
it was really bad.
Drew did not play. Like, he had the 2 interceptions. Obviously, the wide receivers, whatever. Like, what's new? They don't show up. But he just misreads. I almost feel like he was too jacked up. Even some of those checkdowns.
Yeah. Even early in the game.
He has 2 interceptions, and honestly, he had a 3rd.
We have to talk about early in the game the Nick Singleton drop, where
that wasn't a good throw by Drew.
That was a horrible throw.
Yeah, that was
Penn State's first.
I think
not first drive of the game. I think it was 2nd or 3rd drive of the game. But Penn State marches down the field. They get into 1st and goal, stall out on I think 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Drew Allar hits Nick on a quick out, and it's down by his knees. Nick's not able to haul it in. He was wide open for the score. Penn State gets 3 points instead of 7. Penn State loses this game by 3. That was a 4-point swing on that one play. So, I mean, you can go back and look at that as obviously a big game-changing play where Allar, you have to be able to hit that throw. That's just one of many bad throws he made tonight.
My biggest takeaway from this game, well, it's like a few sub-takeaways into one, but the way Penn State lost is the way that, Drew disappeared, did not play well. Wide receivers, non-existent. And not only that, because James is going to get criticism because of the path, whatever. But they had the lead. It was the little things. It was Drew Shelton who talked about it after the Ohio State game. It's like the little things that make a plane crash. And it was quite literally that again. Deja vu. So it's just it's the way that Penn State lost because it's the little things. They talk about the margin of error all the time. And quite literally that's what was on display today.
Yeah. I mean, when you're trying to look at kind of what went wrong, it's very glaringly obvious that this one falls on Drew in my mind if we're kind of allotting the blame. Obviously the wide receivers as well. You can watch and clearly see that they were not getting open at all for Drew. All of his completions today obviously go to Tyler Warren, to the running backs, a few of the other tight ends. I think Khalil Dinkins and Luke Reynolds both had a catch or two. But it was just an ugly day offensively for Penn State outside of some success in the run game, which wasn't always there. The run game kind of failed Penn State toward the end of the game when it was, when it really needed it the most. I don't know, special teams, Riley Thompson had a good day today.
Ryan Barker is a bright spot for the future. Only a redshirt freshman. My man's going to be on scholarship when that Haas settlement gets approved.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Zion Tracy, rookie mistake early on in the game, though, punt returner. But, does that make a difference? No.
Yeah. Just, obviously a pretty heartbreaking loss for Penn State, which obviously is now eliminated from the playoffs. They do have a lot of pieces returning next year. Drew Allar's coming back for better or worse.
Oh, well, I think those rumors of him leading them to the national championship and him declaring for the draft, those got silenced real quick.
Yeah, there were some hypotheticals about, would Allar reconsider entering the draft?
Giant Scout literally said he was there strictly for Drew in case he got this. Just in case you guys are wrong.
Yeah, I think that draft stock tanked significantly after tonight's performance. But that's it for Penn State's season. That's it for our recap here from Hard Rock Stadium. If you guys enjoyed the video, we know you're in mourning, but we'd appreciate a like or a subscribe or both. If you're not already subscribed, we've appreciated bringing you our recaps throughout the season. We hope you guys have enjoyed joining in with us to listen to our thoughts. But that's it for this one.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.